Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Welcome if you're new here, and if you're a return subscriber, thank you so much for all your views and support. I'd also like to say thank you to those who've sent donations via Super Thanks, Coffees and PayPal. It really means a lot and helps me keep the channel going. You might just hear Millie as well. She's here on my lap, purring this morning. I think she wants to join in. In fact, just before I started, she was sort of knocking the cards, which she does sometimes. She might do that, we'll see. So anyway, this is an energy reading that I'm doing today based on the recent visit to Scotland by President Trump. Some of you might have seen that. He's got property in Scotland, and he met up with the UK Prime Minister's Dharma. Again, you might have seen some of the clips. There's one of the clips that just interested me, and that's sort of what I'm basing this reading on, where Trump spoke about the Mayor of London. And he said he thinks he's doing a terrible job. These are his words. And that he's a nasty person. And then Starmer said, hey, he's my friend. Well, they're all friends, aren't they, in that kind of group, let's say. Just put it that way. But I just wondered there if that was a message from Trump in some way, like spiritually, let's say. Now, you'll all have your own opinions, obviously you're entitled to that. This is an energy reading, not fact. We're just going to see what comes through. And as I said, that Millie's just jumped down. So she's left the building. Now, was that a sign? Everything happens for a reason. But yeah, I felt that conversation happened for a reason, because it was a very short visit, obviously, that he made. And I feel like some things went on behind the scenes. And even that conversation, I feel like he's sort of trying to make things happen gradually for other countries, let's say. You might have seen my previous prediction that he would be president, which was correct. Predictions aren't always correct. I'll admit to that, and energy readings as well, but that one was. So let's have a look first at like the energy of that visit. Just see if we can get anything else. And the stars come out right away, which is about hope and healing. We've got this guiding light here. Yeah, as I said, that's what I was feeling, like he's sort of trying to guide people. Now, by the way, because of the star, the light coming down here, I'm getting like galactic forces, the divine, that are helping this to happen. Remember that not everyone we see on the screen is who they were originally. I'll leave it at that. So, you know, if anything, don't judge on what someone might have done in the past. You don't even know what they did for a fact, I guess, as well. But, you know, this is the energy that I'm getting around that visit. Wow, the Tower. So something quite major, a major disruption. I kind of feel that's what he wants, to shake things up, because that's what we see with the Tower. Again, the hand of the divine here, making this tower set alight and crumble. Things that weren't built on solid ground are crumbling. I've been saying this, you know, about our institutions, the system collapsing, And also people being removed, because the tower even shows these people here coming out of the tower being removed. So that is happening. I have mentioned this in other readings, happening behind the scenes. Now I just wanted to highlight the Prince of Cups has come out, which is the Knight, if you know tarot. And this is quite a mysterious energy, quite hard to judge. This person, clever as well, doing things from the heart. So that's what I'm feeling, you know, with the Star as well. 2 major arcana here, you know, changes are happening. I'm just going to look a bit more behind the scenes as well. Anything else we might not have seen, because I was really feeling things happen behind the scenes more than what we saw. Obviously those videos are staged, you know. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, so we've got meetings here coming out right away that happened. There was some displeasure in some of those meetings behind the scenes. This is it about it being staged. Like, it has to happen for people to see certain things going on, you know, like this. So there were some agreements, I feel, as well, that were made with that one. Even though there were opposing views, we've also got anger at the bottom of the deck. So a bit of anger, ego that came out, tower, things exploded. This is the 5 of Pentacles, which is about loss of finances. So some sort of deal where someone might have lost out, potentially. I'm suddenly, it's so interesting how I channel, but I'm suddenly getting the UK PM come into my mind's eye as I say that. So maybe he missed out on a deal, lost out on a deal he had to make. It's like he had to surrender. This is just what I'm getting. As I said, it's not necessarily fact. But yeah, okay, so that's what I'm getting about the meetings. Now let's take a look at the comments made about the Mayor of London. So I don't get very political in my readings, as a lot of you will know. I look more at the energy, and you can all come to your own conclusions. I'm sure you've all got your views already. I find it quite interesting to just look at the energy of a person, because people can change. So let's look at the energy, current energy of the Mayor of London, because obviously Trump doesn't seem to like him. Well, this doesn't surprise me, because what we're getting here is a lot of sort of abundance, someone who's very fond of luxury, the good life, quite happy in their union, let's say. With the 3 of Cups, it doesn't always mean this, but I feel like quite enjoys that sort of lifestyle, let's say. Could even be other energies with 3 there, just putting it out there. Again, alleged in terms of the energy. I'm not saying this is fact. Might have started some sort of business, something he's growing, but I feel this is behind the scenes. Yeah, is that why Starmer is so friendly with him? Because I've often said that there are other things that go on behind the scenes in terms of investments that a lot of them make overseas, particular. So, okay, so he seems like he's having this wonderful, luxurious life, which might make some people a bit angry. That's what I'm feeling. But you know, in the end, if anything does go on like that behind the scenes, it will be exposed. Because I'm just seeing the star in my mind's eye that we had at the beginning. That's our confirmation as well, like it's being exposed gradually. In terms of that meeting that happened behind the scenes. Okay, so what... Let's first of all, with these cards, look at behind the scenes. Anything else behind the scenes? Well, it really didn't surprise me in a way, although I wasn't expecting this in this reading, but we got love. And with these liaisons that have come out there, come to your own conclusions, but you know, it just seemed there's something going on behind the scenes in terms of love. That's not really what I'm here to look at in this reading, but it's coming out. So maybe that's going to be exposed. So you've got a dark-haired female here who might have found something out about him, someone who's very faithful. Okay, so there's something there going on in his personal life. We'll leave that there. We've got a trip to the country. Now this is kind of making me think of those secret meetings, business, you know, the business liaison that I was saying about before. There could be a partnership. But here we've got something being found out which links to this one. So it might not necessarily be love, although it could be someone who's connected to him, who's found something out. And it might not be about, you know, an affair, let's say, although that is coming out, but it could be someone who's close to him, as I said, just to make that clear. There's some sort of documents that have been discovered. The authorities could be involved here. We've got 444 as well, which is showing divine intervention happening, bringing about this exposure. So, as I said, that's why I felt Trump said that for a reason. It was almost like a heads up. For him to say he's a nasty man, must be stuff that he's found out. Being the sleuth that I am, not just a psychic, that's what I'm feeling. And that's what I said, obviously. So, yeah, that was like a clue. What do you all feel? Let's have a look then and see what may happen to the Mayor of London moving forwards. Wow, well, I think we'll just take those, because the first card, by the way, is the Six of Swords, which shows someone moving on. Usually in this card we see a boat moving forward, and we've also got the Death card, which can show an ending. So there's a transition coming through here clearly with these two. A release, a settlement. So, you know, as I said about things happening behind the scenes, some people are being asked to leave, and they receive a settlement as a result, in exchange for things not being exposed. So we might not see everything fully come to light, but it is coming to light behind the scenes. It's like he's gone too far, I feel, with the Death card. And this, again, is the divine deciding what happens, and it's like things are put to an end. This card, I think, is showing what he's going to potentially go through. You know, someone here looks quite tortured. It's interesting that there's a couple in the background there that we had there. So something around a meeting. Wow, my nose is getting really itchy. Suddenly that means I'm channeling. If that happens to any of you who are readers, that's what it means. Strongly channeling here. So there's a link to this couple, this partner, that brings him to this ruin. So he's thinking of that person who I feel betrays him. There's someone in his circle with that other energy there. They might have even got into his life in order to find stuff out, betrayed him. And it was all, you know, all of his dreams were an illusion. I'm getting with that card. Okay, so we're definitely getting two cards there of him moving on. That's what I'm feeling. I just want to point out this card at the bottom of the deck, the Nine of Pentacles, because we've got a female in this card, which we often get. But this is someone who's very abundant, popular, they have material wealth. They've gained something from this. So there's definitely a female who got close, or is close to him, who does alright from this. Let's just see anything else then behind the scenes. I'm just going to start again. Wow, always interesting where the cards fall. This fell on there, and it says impediment. So that female energy there is clearly a block to him. Wow. And it's number 13, the number of the Death card. So this energy puts a stop to it. A stop to these things happening behind the scenes that I'm not going to go into detail about, but clearly some underhand stuff, I feel. Agreements. Yeah, we got the Ten of Swords for a painful ending. So that's quite clear, I feel, in terms of what I feel happens. It's so interesting that at the bottom of my deck, we've got this card, which I always see as a distraction. And then, you know, with this drink here, parties, that lifestyle that came out at the beginning, someone who distracts him during, you know, these pleasant times, let's say. But yeah, it was a distraction in order to find stuff out. It might be that he slips up, shares something, and then this person, I feel it's this person here, quite an attractive female, dark hair, could be quite well known. This person is the one that reveals stuff. I feel this is already happening, for some reason I'm getting that. Let's just ask that. Yeah, we're getting a yes coming through. There's already stuff happening behind the scenes, as I felt, because that's why I feel Trump made that comment. This is all about loss of finances, regret coming through here. So there's some tension. There's other energies here. There's dark energies as well coming out in this card. So there could be other people involved in this investment. I really feel it's an investment with Pentacles coming through there. So a loss of finances. Now, it's interesting that came out before. Rewind to the beginning of the reading with that meeting, the shaking of hands between Trump and the PM. And I said that one of them, the PM, might have been quite, well, it seemed was angry because he loses out on something. So I do feel there's a link here. But again, this is alleged. And it's interesting, we've got, in this deck, I was guided to it for a reason. The pages are female, princess. It's usually a male. So again, we've got this female who's quite a quiet female. Tender, kind, gentle, sensitive. She's got her hands over this cup though. So she's like not fully letting him in. But with the cup here as well, there's definitely something linked to like romance, emotions. She's quite protective of herself with her hands there. She doesn't want to get too close. But I feel she's gone in for a reason to expose this. Wow, everyone, that is really interesting. So yeah, it's happening right now, I feel. Yeah, again, we've got something about a long-term investment that was made. It's definitely around finances, investment. As I said at the beginning. Someone has stepped in to put a stop to this. We've got a male, older male. I wonder who that might be. They found something out. Yeah, and there's that card again. So an agreement, a peace agreement was made at that meeting. That's the card we had at the beginning. Because something was found out. Things are going to happen behind the scenes though. We might not see everything exposed. But this is what I'm feeling. And yeah, that's right. So that is the card that was the Five of Pentacles. And I said someone might be quite unhappy as a result of that meeting because they've lost out on a deal. Because there were other energies involved here who had a piece of the pie. In terms of that investment, I do feel, because it was at the beginning of the reading, that it was potentially the PM. But again, this is alleged. I'm going to keep saying that. Because we have to, you know, especially for these readings about the UK. But again, we've got an energy of moving on here. Yeah, see these females involved. Someone who speaks out about this with a 10 for an ending, and someone walks away as a result. So don't be surprised if he suddenly resigns, or something along those lines, and we don't find anything else out. But if you've seen this reading, you'll know why. This is what I feel. So obviously it might take a while. I can't say when, but that's what I'm getting. I'm just being guided to say actually that a lot of these meetings we're seeing on camera between different presidents and Trump, and the visits he's making and other people are making, are all happening for a reason. They're all divinely guided, back to the star we had at the beginning, in case you're wondering. So there is a reason for that in terms of shifts that will then continue to happen behind the scenes. So I'm going to leave that there, everyone. I really hope you've enjoyed this reading. It's brought you some clarity and insight. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe. Leave a comment, let us know what you feel as well if you wish. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.